Hello guys and welcome to the channel. I am Marv and this is the Moon Pulls podcast. We are going to be highlighting the full moon in Capricorn. If you are watching this by way of the Marvelous Enlightenment channel, hello, and welcome back if you are returning. If you are watching this by way of Readings by Marvelous Madame Tarot, hello, and welcome back if you are returning. This one is going to be a little bit different, guys, because I just want to set this up for you. Each one of your zodiac signs, I currently have up on the actual channel for your weekly energy read. In that weekly energy read, I pulled a card for you, and that is going to be the card. So I was thinking about showing the card. I haven't 100% decided because I'm already talking about the card in each one of your energy reads, and because the energy read is starting on July 2nd and this moon is taking place starting on July the 3rd at 7:38 a.m. Eastern time, so even earlier for you guys if you are in different time zones. What you're going to see time stamped for you is a link back to your video. So this will be a audio video / podcast like we always do, except instead of doing a video for you guys that's going to actually show the card and read what is going on for you with that card. I've already done that in a video, so I'm not going to do it again. So for example, the sign of Taurus, you received Phoenix, the card of 25, for example. Be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. I've already read that entire message, so that I will link back in the video portion of that. And they just happen to be audios because of my vacation. All right. So thank you for allowing me to give you that intro. And the marvelous intro has concluded, and we are going to get into this moon. So how the full moon in Capricorn on July 3rd, 2023 will affect your zodiac sign starts now. The only thing more mysterious than the moon's glimmering and enigmatic lure are the energies that come with it. Although, if you pay close attention to the mother moon's many phases, you'll likely find that they're equally as enriching as they are validating. A reflection in our human development, getting in touch with our lunar cycle, is essential to our soul's growth, as it not only helps us become grounded within ourselves, but also more aware of our emotionality. On that note, observing the moon's ebbs and flows will bring you in awareness with the natural fluctuations occurring within and around you. For instance, where the new moon presents us with a clean slate to plan and plant our seeds of intentions, the waxing crescent moon phases begins to build momentum in order for us to set those plans in motion. The full moon, on the other hand, marks a time of celebration and harvest. It is equivalent to a full circle moment. In the same way it adorns the night sky with its majestic presence, it shines a light on what's hidden from our subconscious mind. As you may remember, the moon sits directly opposite the sun during the full moon phase. This is called for a balance between the divine feminine of the moon and the sacred masculine of the sun within us all. With that being said, there's a full moon headed our way, and it will reach its peak of fullness via 11 degrees of Capricorn on July 3rd at 7:38 a.m. Eastern. At this very moment, the sun will be sitting alongside Mercury in Cancer, while in opposition to the moon in Capricorn. For reference, on this energy, think back to the new moon in the same sign that took place on December 23rd, 2022. Also, take a moment to reflect on the essence of the Saturn-ruled Capricorn, as well as the astrological house it governs in your birth chart. Hint, this is the area of your life where you're typically the most pragmatic or likely require the most discipline and or structure. More importantly, this lunation marks the halfway point of the calendar. And if there's one thing that Father Time, aka Saturn, does best, it's checking in on our personal and professional progress. For instance, guys, what have you been working on since December of 2022? And how has it come to fruition for you in your life? Have you been tending to your goals and doing everything that it takes to succeed in the process is the question. Governed by taskmaster planet Saturn, Capricorn's cardinal Earth is symbolic of the foundation that allows us to solidify our life's purpose. What do you want your legacy to be about? What would you tell the world upon reaching the top of the mountain? With the Sun and Mercury in domestic Cancer, there is a greater emphasis on emotional exploration behind your future goals and dreams. Look at it this way. While Capricorn speaks to the foundation of our life structure, Cancer, on the other hand, represents the sense of security and innermost feelings. So that being said, who are you when you come home after a long day and strenuous day of work? This is precisely where Cancer's archetype comes to life. So consider this an opportunity not only to check in with yourself and your goals, but also to reflect on how you're feeling about the new venture. Ask yourself, guys, does it feel safe? Are your feet planted firmly on the ground? This full moon in Capricorn is shining a light on where we need to honor our own authority. Moreover, with Capricorn's ruler, Saturn, retrograde in Pisces, we are all becoming more aware of the boundaries that need to be set moving forward. Neptune ruled Pisces not only teaches us how to cultivate faith, but also how to surrender our fears and doubts to the divine. So in other words, where are you being too idealistic? Are the sacrifices you're making truly worth it? On a brighter note, Jupiter will be in harmony with this lunation, all while transiting security-seeking Taurus. This is beneficial. This is a beneficial aspect, guys, as it is supporting everything from our endeavors to our aspirations moving forward. All right. And that concludes our intro. We are going to break out into the per sign or the by signs or all signs. And we are going to be looking at this from the standpoint of a rising and sun perspective. After which, again, as I stated in the marvelous intro, you will get the video portion of this particular audio video podcast. However, it will only be the power wish part, which we talk about what we need to release in a full moon in Capricorn. And then I will possibly be naming the cards, showing you the cards. I haven't decided, but I'm going to link again the video for you to go and watch that, listen to that audio for each and every one of your cards, okay? And what I pulled for you, inspired by this full moon in Capricorn. All right, and we start with Aries and Aries rising. Everything from your sense of authority to your approach on a professional endeavor is being brought to your attention at this time. Charging up your 10th house of parenting, boss moves, authority figures, and legacy in the world, while its taskmaster ruler Saturn retrogrades through your 12th house of surrender, it is important to consciously go within in order to reflect on your personal needs despite whether or not it sits well with the rest of the world. The financial decisions you make at this time and or your personal value systems are both supported by Jupiter and Saturn. So, your full moon reflection is as follows. Are your personal and professional goals in alignment with another? What did you accomplish this past year? We move on to Taurus and Taurus rising. Before looking toward the future for validation, take a moment to reflect on where it all began, Taurus. For instance, the moon will reach its peak of fullness in Capricorn via your expansive ninth house of self-discovery and unknown territory. All right? Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that interruption, Taurus. For instance, the moon will reach its peak of fullness in Capricorn via your expansive ninth house of self-discovery and unknown territory, bringing up everything from a long-term goal to a significant journey full circle. Keep in mind, Taurus Collective, that this could be a newfound philosophy around friendship or a collaboration you have in the works. Saturn is, after all, the ruler of this lunation, and it's retrograde in your 11th house of community and future visions. Follow your intuition when it comes to your immediate exchanges. Your full moon reflection is as follows. How have your long-term goals and dreams evolved in the past year? What are you genuinely seeking at this time? We move on to Gemini and Gemini rising. This is your full circle moment, and it will likely revolve around the foundation of your mergers, shared resources, and contractual agreements. Luna will peak in pragmatic Capricorn, bringing awareness to your 8th house of intimate unions, energetic exchanges, and other people's money. But wait, there's more. With the sun and your celestial ruler Mercury igniting your 2nd house of finances, securities, and values, you're being encouraged to go within and truly honor your personal needs in the process. This could be professionally or perhaps when it comes to a prominent authority figure. Check in with yourself and set the necessary boundaries. Gemini, your full moon reflection is what kind of structure are you looking to cultivate by the end of 2023? And how has the foundation of your exchanges transformed? We move on to Cancer and Cancer rising. Relationships takes precedent under the light of this lunation, Cancer. Although this is especially prominent for you, considering we're almost amidst your solar season. With the moon reaching its peak of fullness and pragmatic Capricorn, your 7th house, your committed 7th house of agreements and significant others, a significant partnership could come full circle at this time. Keep in mind, both the Sun and Mercury are occupying your sign, simultaneously encouraging you to check in with yourself and remain true to your feelings in the process. And with Taskmaster Saturn retrograde in Pisces via your 9th house of expansion, there's a greater emphasis on the beliefs that you have of this partnership. So your full moon reflection is as follows. Are you comfortable asserting yourself and expressing your needs? How have your contractual agreements evolved in the past year? That is a very good question. We move on to Leo and Leo rising. Take a step back and retreat if needed, Leo. The full moon will touch down on your responsible 6th house of health, due diligence, and acts of service, and all while sitting in opposition to the Sun and Mercury in your sleepy 12th house. Whether consciously or unconsciously, it's important to hold space for your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being right now, especially if you've been overworking yourself or simply preoccupied with day-to-day duties. Also, the ruler of this lunation, Saturn retrograde, is currently activating your 8th house of intimate unions and energetic exchanges, which adds a layer of pragmatism and structure to your interpersonal relationships. Leo, your full moon reflection is as follows. Is there an equal amount of give and take in this commitment? And have you established a formal agreement? We move on to Virgo and Virgo rising. With the full moon igniting your fifth house of love, passion, self-expression, you're likely gaining the awareness of the foundation of your desires, if not the muse behind your creativity. Others of you could be seeking recognition or acknowledgement from an authority figure. But with the Sun and Mercury charging up your 11th house of associations and individual freedom, it's important to reflect on the dynamic of your social contributions, aspirations, specifically those that no longer resonate with the person that you are becoming, Virgo. Saturn is also retrograde in your relationship sector, suggesting that the possibility of you surrendering a union moving forward, while others of you feel the need to set firm boundaries. Virgo, your full moon reflection is as follows. What talents are you ready to master? Have you unconsciously inhibited yourself or your authenticity for the sake of a commitment? Question. We move on to Libra and Libra rising. Luna will touch down on your fourth house of home, family, and innermost feelings, bringing awareness, Libra collective, to everything from your emotional foundation to the structure of your humble abode, giving that Saturn, the ruler of this lunation, is symbolic of the father of astrology. The taskmaster's retrograde journey through your sixth house of due diligence will shed light on where you've been lacking discipline and or direction in your everyday life. Although, while in opposition to the Sun and Mercury in Cancer, it is important to communicate and reflect on how you are feeling about this, whether in regards to your sense of authority toward a prominent parental figure. Libra collective. The full moon reflection is as follows. Are you staying true to yourself, maximizing your day-to-day lifestyle? How has the structure of your daily routine evolved in this last year? I just want to take a moment from script and talk about, as a Libra rising, how this played out for me, if you guys don't mind. I left an apartment and moved into a condo community. In my old apartment that I had stayed at with my children for a good long time, guys, everything wasn't necessarily hunky-dory, but it was home. And I outgrew the space. My children became older. I became, my business expanded from when I first moved in there up until the day that we moved. Actively for the last 3 years, almost through 3 different nodes, Sagittarius, Gemini, into Taurus and Scorpio, and now on the 17th moving into Aries and Libra nodes. It took me that long to move. Every single time I turned around, it was something else. Why this particular full moon in Capricorn, and I do have a Capricorn moon, is significant for me as a Libra rising in my 4th house is because there definitely has been a change in the structure of my daily routine that has evolved in the last 6 months. If you guys remember, the move took place in January, but I had to change the way that I did everything on this channel to accommodate my new space. If those of you have been rocking with me, I went from showing my face every day to just doing top-down videos because although we had outgrew the space, and this is a lot of living space that we've gained, and we're very grateful, unfortunately, that became a problem because there was no way to set up my old studio. So I decided not to let that bother me and to continue to move forward. As a result of that, my candle business also was launched prior to this, prior to the move, and I needed to test and make products, and that started, although we haven't officially launched. I say it all that to say, with all of that going on in the last 6 months, 9 months for the candle business and counting, I believe. It was last October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. 10 months. This is the 10th month. One of the things that really came full circle for me, Libra Collective, was that when I moved in my condo community, there is a individual that lives on top of me. And they have been here, I would say, for about 6 weeks, and it has been nonstop noise. On yesterday, while I am still on vacation, there was a significant amount of noise, but that's already being handled in a separate incident, a separate process, as I should say. One thing that the neighbor does to violate the lease is there is water that comes over the balcony and drips into my balcony. We have oversized patios. Mine's is a patio because it's on the ground. Hers is a balcony because it's above ground. And so she cleans up after her dog. I'm getting to my point, I promise. And she puts water over the balcony. I've complained about this several times because that has dripped down inside of my living space. I'm outside a lot of times, and it has my grill and everything is out there. She can care less. That's established. One thing leads to another. The community manager tells me that it's already been reported. And my 4th house full moon in Capricorn moment was her telling me that one more violation and this individual will be unfortunately forced to leave. Now, that wasn't what I wanted out of the outcome, but unfortunately, sometimes your neighbors, you don't ask for your neighbors. I didn't have to go through this where I came from, but this is where I inherited by moving into a better opportunity. So this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to listen to a testimony of mine and remember, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Now, don't get me wrong, the grass is hella green. We love our space. However, obviously, I'm on the road to buying a house because I need space. I need my own space, something that I own. Needless to say, the bottom line is that was a full moon moment, because there is a misconception that happens in our brains that thinks that when we move out of one situation that we don't like, that we're going to inherit another one and there's going to be wine and roses. When it should be you going into a situation, accepting the good and the bad, and, celebrating your wins and figuring out the losses and figuring out how to restructure. So, yes, I am staying true to myself, attempting to maximize my day-to-day lifestyle. Yes. My structure, how has my structure of my daily routine evolved? It's evolved tremendously. So if you are a Libra rising, start there. And thank you for allowing me to share that. We move on to Scorpio and Scorpio rising. The foundation of your communication style in the immediate surroundings is being illuminated under July's full moon in Capricorn as it touched down on your curious third house of the mind and local community. For reference, think back to the new moon that took place in December of 2022, as you're likely gaining some insight and perspective on similar themes during this time. More importantly, guys, when the sun and Mercury sitting in direct opposition to the moon via your expansive 9th house of travel and self-discovery, you're being encouraged to be more vocal when it comes down to your emotionality and what makes you feel genuinely secure. Scorpio and Scorpio rising, your full moon reflection is whether romantically or professionally, do you feel secure in your unique expression? How has your personal branding evolved in the past year? I also want to give you a personal parallel. I know a Scorpio rising, and yes, on the outside looking in, that individual's communication has definitely expanded But unfortunately for that individual Scorpio collective as a Scorpio rising, he still doesn't feel secure in expressing how he feels emotionally. So if you guys are going through this, and this is going to be something that you deal with because you are a Scorpio, and when you go deep in the deep and murky and very complicated waves of your emotions, you don't want to communicate that crap to anybody because you don't want to be judged for the horrible places that your mind may go and the things that you may be thinking. The only thing that I can tell you as being on the other side of that Scorpio rising's communication, because he's not talking to himself, he's talking to me, or when he was, is that remember that you're a human, and remember that human emotions are complicated. We go up, we go down. No one is going to necessarily understand the ins and outs of something that you don't understand about yourself. I find that with fixed energy, there's a lot of emphasis on the other because your mind is made up. You likely are attracting individuals that are different from you and that has more of an open mind compared to your fixed way of thinking because you are fixed water. But I want you to understand that the other side of that coin is that you're dealing with human beings. So be mindful of that when you are doing the judgment. And also be open to the fact that it's no one's responsibility to fix or understand what you can't fix or understand. Good luck, Scorpio. We move on to Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. In order for you to feel rooted in your personal life, you would need to communicate, or better yet, have some much needed heart-to-heart conversations with your significant others. Luna will reach its peak of fullness in Capricorn, bringing celebration and full circle moments to your second house of finances, security, and value systems. Meanwhile, the sun will join forces with Mercury, which is the ruler of your relationships sector, and that is going on in Cancer, taking place in Cancer, bringing insight and perspective to the eighth house themes such as giving and receiving. If you've been experiencing blockages or restrictions with family dynamics thanks to Saturn's retrograde, this is something else you may need to get clear on. So Sagittarius, your full moon reflection is as follows. What familiar home attachments attachments have you surrendered this past year? Do you have a financial plan in works for the future? Let me just give you a little commentary about that. There's been a lot of energy that I have been reading for you guys. You guys are coming full circle in relationships. You are having a lot of emphasis with home issues. I have been reading in the general energy reads about issues with family, issues with love, and issues with children. So I'm going to send my love to you guys as well because there's been a lot of buzzing there and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. So keep your head up and good luck with that, Sagittarius, okay? We move on to Capricorn and Capricorn rising. Well, this one has your name on it, my fellow Caps. Make a wish and don't hesitate to lean on your significant others for support. The moon reached its peak in your signs, and with it brought intentions that you set back in December of 2022 to fruition. Luna will also sit in opposition to the Sun and Mercury in Cancer, which is via your relationship sector, suggesting that this could possibly revolve around important conversation that you've had in the past. If not, you will need to have moving forward. This, of course, goes hand in hand with your taskmaster ruler Saturn, as it retrogrades in Pisces via your communication sector and third house of local affairs. A new system and structure will likely be put in place. So Capricorn, suns, and risings, your full moon reflection is as follows. How can you remain true to your sense of authority without losing sight of your partner's needs? What are you looking forward to accomplish by the end of 2023? I'm going to give you a little bit of communication on this one too as a Cap moon. Now, this is going to resonate more if you are a Cap rising or sun. I can truly say that as a Cap moon, which is a completely different beast, but I do share some of this. How can you remain true to your sense of authority without losing sight of your partner's needs? You guys comment below and let me know how you're doing it, because that ish is hard as double HE double hockey stick. Okay, it's very, very hard. It's easy in theory but harder in practice, and we'll leave it at that. Good luck, Caps. We move on to Aquarius and Aquarius rising. Step back and reconnect with your higher self, Aquarius. This is especially true with the moon reaching its peak of fullness in Capricorn in your secretive house, 12th house of closures, dreams, and unconscious patterns. Keep in mind the sun will be sitting alongside Mercury in Cancer. That is via your responsible 6th house of health, daily due diligence and acts of service, simultaneously highlighting how important it is to communicate, speak up, and ask for help when needed. After all, you may prefer to work solo behind the scenes, but that doesn't mean it's mentally, physically, or spiritually fulfilling. Aquarius, suns, and risings, your full moon reflection is, have you been over-sacrificing yourself for the sake of maintaining your sense of authority? How can you maximize your day without having to burn out? Just to give a little bit of this, the 12th house is all about unconscious patterns. This is where we go when we don't realize how we are. And sometimes when we realize how we are, that doesn't mean anything. Aquarian, you guys are known for the radical thinking, but unfortunately, depending on what's in your Mars and other things in your chart and your other variables, action may not be the strong suit here. Speaking up is not a problem for you, honestly. I don't think so. Sometimes you could avoid certain things because you don't like confrontation. I find that a lot of the times you guys are easy to speak up when something you feel like you can win. It's like a mental thing, or someone that you feel, no one. I don't want to get too deep into this, but like I wanted to highlight dreams and unconscious patterns. All right. This is all about the importance of speaking up and asking for help when needed. Depending on what your blend is, especially if there is a lot of emotional trauma, there is a need to feel like the other people that are around you should know and read your mind. That is not fair. So if that is something that you suffer from, this one is definitely probably not going to be as easy for you. So keep that in mind. Good luck, Aquarius. And last but certainly not least, we move on to Pisces and Pisces rising. This month's full moon will charge up your socially conscious 11th house of associations, community affairs, and individual freedom. And all while sitting in opposition to the sun and Mercury in your 5th house of love, passion, and self-expression. Meanwhile, with the moon's taskmaster ruler Saturn retrograde in your sign, you're being called to reflect on everything from your recent accomplishments to what you're genuinely trying to achieve for yourself before this year comes to a close. This is where you're honoring your sense of authority, but also remaining open to criticism and tough love if it brings you closer to the self-mastery that you seek. So Pisces and Pisces rising, the full moon reflection is as follows. What actions are you taking to achieve your personal and professional goals? Are you being true to your heart's desire in the process? I'm going to answer that and give you a little bit. Are you being true to your heart's desires in the process? Be careful with that, because sometimes your heart's desires with your discernment or complicated discernment that you guys have, especially depending on what is in your moon. As a Pisces sun and rising is probably going to lead you, your heart's desires is probably going to lead you to addictions or people that don't serve you. So please keep that in mind. And this concludes the audio version of this podcast. Everything that you need to know will be below in the description box for you and your collective. I will see you in the video portion where we will just be speaking of, again, the power wish, teaching you how to release what no longer serves you and give gratitude in this full moon in Capricorn. And I will be giving you a peek at the card. I've decided that's probably the best thing to do, or naming that card. And then I will be linking the link for you to access your video so you can hear the other cards that I pull for you, and I go into your card in depth. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you in the new moon in Cancer. That's going to be a jam-packed week because we have two things happening the same day as the new moon in Cancer. We are also having a nodal shift into from Taurus and Scorpio into Aries and Libra. Can't wait to bring that information to you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Hello, guys, and welcome to the channel. This is the video version of the Moon Pulse podcast highlighting the beautiful full moon in Capricorn. Everything that you need is below down in the description box for you and your collective. As I have stated in the audio version of this podcast, we will not be doing a moon pulls because that moon pulls, the actual pull was already done. The cards are right here. At the end of me going over the power wish, I will highlight each one of the cards for you. And then underneath that highlight of that card, I will not be reading it because I've already done so in your energy read this particular week. Why did I combine them? Because the energy, although it is fluid and the dates are for me and the time frames are for you, I still felt that because that was the energy that this full moon pulled down and I was able to tap into that for you guys. It made no sense because I did say that, we dropped the videos on Sunday to Sunday and the full moon basically took place the next day on the 3rd. So you're going to be experiencing this full moon energy this week. It made no sense to complicate things. Those messages were very powerful. Go and listen to those videos because they were in audio version. And let's get started. Before we get into the actual power wish, we're going to be highlighting, of course, the full moon anchoring statements and what we do. So I'm just going to change this really quickly so I can have a pointer. So full moon anchorings, a happy emotion or situation, and you are being guided with the power wish method to say thank you. Full moons are about gratitude. A full moon is a time to be grateful. It symbolizes harvest and completion. So asking the universe to fulfill a wish during a full moon is like planting seeds in the winter. It goes against the flow of the universe. That being said, it's not that you can't write your own wish on a full moon. You just have to write it in such a way that it is appropriate for it. So the full moon is literally when the moon is full. Its energy is a sense of fulfillment, such as thank you for a rich harvest, or I'm so happy my wish came true. All you have to do is write your wish accordingly. You can still wish for the same thing as you did on the new moon, just write it differently and make it the full moon version. That way, you can still write as many wishes as you like. Take the new moon power wishes on 41. That's the couple pages before. If you were to rewrite them for the full moon, they look like this. Version number 1. Giving thanks for what you like to manifest. I am building a strong relationship of trust with Taquito and supporting him as we share our lives together. I am truly happy now. Thank you so much. Or I was able to meet my ideal partner who makes me a better person and live a happy, cheerful family. A better person and have a happy, cheerful family with him. Every day is filled with so much love. It's like a dream. Thank you so much. I succeeded in losing 5 pounds for the audition in September. I couldn't feel more confident. Thank you so much. I am now living the life that I want in my own needs as a top priority. As a result, I feel so motivated and fulfilled every day. Thank you so much. I quit my job and started freelancing. Projects are flooding in one after another. I am so happy that I am so happy I can scream. Thank you so much. Do you see how they are wishing for the same thing but been written differently? The basic principle of a full moon power wish is to write it as if it has already come true. You can use past or present tense. Whether it actually has come true or not, it is important, guys, that you thank the universe under the assumption that that it has already granted your wish. Another thing to include is at least one happy emotion or positive phrase like I feel blessed or it's like a dream or even expressions like I'm so happy, awesome, or yay. All right. We're not going to go into the rest of this, but you should be pretending that the wish already came true, being grateful for synchronicity and serendipity. Then we're going to get into how to do it. Now we're going to give an example again. Version 2, giving thanks for happy moments. I was gifted a ticket to see a play that I really wanted to see. What luck. I am super happy. Thank you so much. And one more. Just as I was craving for cream puffs, Mr. Yamazaki bought a whole box. It was totally the law of attraction. Thank you so much, Mr. Yamazaki, as you can see. All right. So then she goes into full moon is also a time to write down anything you want to let go of. This is exactly the way that I used to teach you. All you have to do is ride the wave of release mode. Sorry about that. This is the part that I wanted to highlight. If you're struggling with letting go of an attachment to someone, then write something like this when the moon is full in Taurus. For example, my attachment to Alex is naturally gone. If you do not want to fret over small things anymore, then write something like this when the moon is full in Virgo. I am no longer fretting over small things. This book is encouraging you to harness the energy of that particular moon, all right? Grab the universe's attention with high vibratory words. Power wish is the process of aligning vibrations with the universe, so forth and so on. So I wanted to get into that, guys. Now we're going to get into, hold on. Now we're going to get into it. Full moon power wish, late June, late July. Themes and keywords for that new moon. Additionally, a Capricorn full moon helps you release being inflexible, straight-laced, or dull, being apathetic, cold, or unsympathetic, troubles and worries about teeth, bones, or skin. Top 2 power release examples that are likely to come true with a moon in Capricorn when the Capricorn full moon. My efforts has thus been recognized and I'm getting promoted to regional manager. First goal accomplished. Thank you so much. Or number 2, I've completely let go of the anxiety about not seeing any results despite my hard work. I know that the longer it takes, the more I gain. Thank you so much. Now we go into the examples like I do in every one. Romantic relationships and partnerships. This is an example of one. After steadily deepening my relationship with Frankie, whom I met while studying for the CPA exam, we are now engaged and planning to get married in October. I give thanks from the bottom of my heart for this wonderful encounter with such a sincere partner. Thank you so much. Any career in business. My company performed far beyond expectations this first year, and we already met a net positive. It's all thanks to my staff working so hard. Thank you so much. And you say what happened. You say how you think it got there because you're showing your gratitude, and then you say thank you so much. All right, health and beauty and miscellaneous, and we'll end this. I passed the medical licensing exam, and I've been officially becoming a doctor. I've never been so happier in my life. Hooray, thank you so much. And that concludes the Power Wish. If you're interested in purchasing this book, so you can see exactly and follow along with me each new moon and full moon, then this is the book, The Power Wish. I have been reluctant to leave any links for this book because I bought this with my own money and then it's not sponsored. I follow the Astro Twins and their astrology, and when they made reference of this book, I went and got it and I was blown away. But it would be nice for you to read along with me. We've been doing this for a while now. I will link the Amazon link if I have time, as well as a Barnes and Noble link. I would advise, guys, honestly, it's probably going to be beneficial for you to get it from Barnes and Noble. If it's Prime and is on sale, that's one thing. But I know that I used to be a Barnes and Noble member, and now they have like reward membership program. When I was on vacation in San Diego, I signed up there. And it's just nice. I'm still one of those bookstore type of people, so you can go and pick this up. All right. And now I'm just going to go over all 12 signs and what each sign got. And again, these cards will be time stamped. And underneath the time stamp and the name of each one of the cards, I will link your weekly energy read, aka the weekly energy reading, taking you through the energy of July 2nd through the 9th. And we start with Taurus and Taurus rising. You got the card of Phoenix, which is in the energy of 25. Be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. We move on to Cancer and Cancer rising. I'm sorry, these are Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Cancer collective. You got the card of Birth, which is in the energy of 4. Universal energy brings you the opportunity and possibility. We move on to Libra collective. You got the card of 22, which is Mountain. Know that you are protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. We move on to Capricorn collective. The card of 5, which is Celebrations. You are ready to bring new and exciting things into your life. We move on to, hold on, I'm sure I'm out of order now. Maybe not. If I am, I apologize. We move on to Aries and Aries rising. You got the card of 27, which is a proposal or romantic or business opportunity is indicated. We move on to Gemini and Gemini rising. You got the card, or Gemini collective. You got the card of 28, which is Snake. Your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path. Just be careful. We move on to Leo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or your collective. You got the card of 17, which is Love. Love surrounds you and all of your connections. Move forward positively in all areas of your life. We move on to Virgo. And Virgo, your entire collective is 7. That's the card of Cracker. Positive energy surrounds you. Love, joy, and good fortune awaits. We move on to Scorpio collective. The card of 32, Transformation. Reach out for the power and strength to make changes, enrich your life, and become the person you want to be. We move on to Sagittarius collective. You got the card of 31, which is Thorns. Weathering the challenges ahead will bring in a new and positive future. We move on to Aquarius collective. You got the card of 14, which is Judgment. Soul searching will bring inner peace to many areas of your life. And finally, we move on to Pisces collective, the card of 12. That is the energy of Fool. Have the courage to embrace change, take risk, and be adventurous. And that concludes the Moon Pulls podcast for the full moon in Capricorn. Guys, the next one that we do is going to be very special because this one is going to mark the nodal change from Taurus Scorpio into Aries Libra, as well as a new moon in Cancer. I'm very excited about that and to see what's going to happen. Everything that you need is below in the description box for you and your collective. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.